So they can do that, but that's why you have to be on facts, not emotion.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now! 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 Free Nnamdi Kanu!
All right, welcome this morning to News Insight. Why do we call it a breaking news? We're already aware this is going to happen, but a lot of people felt that since there is Showore is a kangaroo court order, because at the chamber the judge declined jurisdiction, and even at the open court, then they went back to the chamber. Then even at that, whatever court order they got or ex parte motion that was approved for them, Showore is claiming that he was not served, the content of which he is not aware of and he doesn't know. What does this take us? And two, most importantly, I think people are scared. Will this be another EndSARS?
Thank you very much. You know, we are entering another phase of the Nigerian system, because in the political space. You know why? Because the judiciary is the hope of the common man. A matter was before a federal high court on Friday, an ex parte motion by the Nigerian police asking the court to restrain Showore's and order from carry on with the Free Nnamdi protest, which is slated for today, Monday. At the open court, the court declined jurisdiction and asked the police to put Showore and order on notice and fix the return date for 21st of October, which is tomorrow. From nowhere, you can't help but agree with Showore that they procure a kangaroo judgment. The judge was coerced, or he was intimidated or harassed, and that the same ex parte order he refused to grant in open court was granted in chamber. Fine and good, you have gotten a court order, whichever way it is you got it.
Yeah.
But how did he have effect? For an order to have an effect on the party that is granted upon, you have to serve him. They went to the pages of newspaper. The court not in any way grant a substitute order where Showore could be served.
Exactly, that's why I was to go.
The order that was granted by the court was to serve on Showore in person.
Peter, let me come to you. A lot of people are going to argue Showore cannot claim he's not aware because himself was also talking about the order, but it was not before him. He didn't know what is written, and when court say you should serve, the law is always specific. As a matter of fact, that's why I have law. Otherwise, we all have ideas, we have norms, we have things we know that is good or bad. But the law is to remove argument. The law is actually to make sure that the order or whatever it is specific. You want to remove doubt. So, can you on your own decide to have a substituted service when the court does not order so? You have not been frustrated from doing the normal service. If you have been frustrated from doing the normal service, you will go back to court where the court will now order a substituted service. That has not happened. So it appears that if the protest continues as it is going on now, then it's level.
Actually, I actually listens to Showore, and somehow I believe Showore has matured as a person. He did not deny this. He has one, like Philip said this, he read it on newspaper, saw it on internet, that him has not been served. And because he's not been served, there's a time limit to it. And that time limit to it has elapsed. Meaning it has become null and void. You ought to serve me. He admitted. But I was not served. It was said in national TV. I was not. Court ordered you to serve me. And most of the time limit attached to this kind of service, yes, it has elapsed. Meaning that our protest, I want to use the word, our protest will go on. It is legitimate. It is our right to protest. And because they've not done what they need to do. Because in Nigeria, we try to respect court orders when it favors us. When it doesn't favor us, we do otherwise. What was the order? You have acquired this right. Well, do the needful. Go to Showore and serve him.
But what could it be that has prevented them from serving Showere? I mean,
from day one, they made up mind what they want to do. They made up mind to stop this from going on.
What to serving if prevented from serving Showere, when do they get the order? That's the question you ask yourself. Because the court stopped sitting maybe at about 4, whatever time. Then you got that order by 6, 7, 8. Where are the court officials?
I mean, security forces they can get to Showere anytime.
So the thing is that they were out of time, as according to the legal language, because they were out of time. There was no proper order, so that prevented them from serving. There were no order in the first place, because at the open court they said put the man on notice and come back on a return date,
which is tomorrow,
and then argue your case and let the man say why he shouldn't be restrained. So where would they not go serve? In fact, the order can even be challenged.
The order can actually be challenged
because the court cannot accept. There's no appeal. But
graciously, Showere is not going on, even on challenging it, because all he's saying that is even invalid. Because there's no order before you.
You know, I said it before
that. There is no order before
you. Have not said Showere to know the content of the order so granted. So how did he know that he'd be restrained? Because it's his constitutional right for him to protest.
But now almost everywhere you can see rowdy clips and all that, you know. I don't know, maybe let's just hold on again if we can, you know, see that clip one more time. You see, this is already giving rise to a kind of anarchy that is preventable. Why don't we just always allow free demonstration? You know, Showere was saying it has to be peaceful. Let's see if you have the clip one more time.
Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Don't tag us! Do not tag us!
Well, this is not the kind of scenario we had wanted Abuja to be like today. Today is Monday, and people are supposed to be going about their normal businesses. And what we have now, the confusion of even people not knowing whether they should protest peacefully or should be at home, and the security forces all over the places blocking, certain entrances, certain passageways. What is it that is this government in general? Once you mention protest, and this is unbecoming because our current president is a man who so much believes in protest. I mean, he so much believe in protest. At least if people couldn't remember what happened in the past, that of during Goodluck Jonathan was very clear. He so much believe in protest. How come once you mention protest now, the adrenaline of the government, starting from security forces to executive, even to the court sometimes, just like in this case, they wanted to stand with the freedom believing minds. So what is it that is making this government to be so scared of protest?
In one of our program over the weekend, a beer parlor discussion, one of the discussants said that this government will not eat the food they are giving to others to eat. When you said the sitting president is an activist, and that's what earned him the position today. He was the same man who organized the Occupy Nigeria, against the government of President Goodluck Jonathan, because they know what it will, the end product, because they are beneficiary, they are beneficiary of that product, so they know what it be, because they have not done. Well, you have said it over and over that look, we don't need all of this. We need a Nigeria that works for every one of us. That what you advocate is for the present government to work to deliver on their promises, so that no, this criticism and all that will stop. But because they have not been able to deliver in their promises, so they are scared of the reaction of the people, and they want to, at all costs, nip it on the bud. Because when the people react to what you have given to them, the food you give to them to eat that you cannot eat, the outcome is the vomit that will come out with the face, your own face. So, and they don't want that because they haven't done well. So when you come to the issue of this protest we're talking about, that where people are supposed to go about their normal businesses today, and protest is one of the normal business that the people are supposed to go about, because you go about your normal business and you come back home with empty stomach. What does that lead you to? It is better for you to go out to express your grievances so that the government can take note of what they are not doing right, so that they could do it right. Showore has assured Nigeria that the protest will be peaceful. I don't know what is the problem with the government. Why don't you see whether the protest will be peaceful or not before you start reacting? But it's like you are killing an ant with a bullet instead of using a hand to smash it.
Okay, Nnamdi Kanu wasn't arrested, or people say he was kidnapped. Wasn't kidnapped during Asiwaju's tenure. Okay, but it's within his powers to ensure the whole thing is settled. Putting it this way, I had heard somebody say, that this government will certainly release Nnamdi Kanu, but they want to play politics with it. That they wanted to wait towards election, it to look like a gift to the Southeasterners or things like that. Do you think if this protest continues, even though that had been the plan of the government or whatever, that they are going to be able to release Nnamdi Kanu even almost immediately?
I believe, honestly, that this government will release Nnamdi Kanu, as you said earlier. But what they were timing they're looking at when it will benefit this government. And Showore has come to destroy that equation. Now, even though they release Nnamdi Kanu today, that political point they want to score is gone. It will be based that people pressurize them to do that.
That's what they asked.
Yeah, that was the artist. Then you ask question to Philip. Let me join Philip what he said about this protest. This APC government, let me not call Tinubu APC government. They don't know what protest can do. EndSARS, we cannot forget it. EndSARS almost brought down Buhari government. So they know if you allow people gather. See, even in the Bible, when people decide to build that power of that tower,
Babylon.
God scattered their language.
God didn't take them serious. When you see people, when they are united for a purpose, when God saw people have united to do this, he had to scatter the roots by bringing different languages to them. See, this government, they've seen it. And again, they are the one introducing violence to this protest. It's a peaceful protest. What they do, they're trying to get people angry, get people frustrated. And a frustrated man will act outside the ordinary. I came from Cuba today. From all the way to Cuba through to town, the town was empty. What they have done, they block off Madam Lazis, those coming from Suleja. They've been blocked. Imagine you come to work, you stay in the traffic for 2 hours, 3 hours. You're getting walked up. And we all react differently. They're getting people walked up. So when people actually say,
some might have a hospital appointment.
So when people act now, you said that they're becoming violent. But indirectly, you introduce that violence. I saw some clips I'm watching here. You say Tagasi people this early. What have they done? Some people are working in private sector. They have to go to work.
Okay, let me come to you, Philip. The government got a court order and said people should go about their normal business, but the government didn't go about their normal business. They released security forces to block in certain places. Does it mean they didn't believe in the court order they got?
You know, when you thrive in illegality, it is difficult for you to stay away from illegality. In the court order in the first place, how do they procure it? Because it is a known fact to the whole world that on Friday morning, an ex parte motion filed by the Nigerian police against Showore and those who wish to protest for Nnamdi Kanu release, that the court declined to grant the order. At about 7 p.m., there was a news flash that Showore and his people had been restrained. How do you...
Showore can't find the order.
In the judiciary, their procedure, if a court has given a ruling or a judgment, the only way for that judgment not to appeal against it.
Yeah.
This order the court has declined it. Do they appeal the declinement of the order?
You don't litigate. You can't go back to relitigate.
So how come that the court on its own reversed himself and grant the order. Though the order was granted, he didn't say they shouldn't go and protest, but some areas
places
were said down not to be, visited.
Okay.
So no, I'm still coming.
Yeah.
But like what Peter said. But the government on their own, because you said, don't they believe in order?
Yeah.
Knowing fully well that their action is illegal, they went further in illegality by releasing the security apparatus against the innocent Nigerian citizens who want to protest for their right, who want to express their grievances, so that government can take note and take correction. No, they don't want to.
All right, for the interest of peace and because this is the only nation we have, we don't want to burn it. We don't want anything that will lead to forceful takedown of the government. We worked so hard to ensure the military were sent back to the barracks, but unfortunately they are not even in the barracks as such. They've been sent into the streets, so it's unfortunate. So, but for the interest of peace, do you think the protesters, though the purported court order is not before them, because Shoro said the protest is worldwide, do you think, since it's a limited purported court order, do you think for the interest of peace, the protesters should avoid those locations like Castle Rock, their court of appeal, all those areas that the purported court order that we can't find before us, was allowed to function? So if the people can allow that court order to function in that manner, even though they didn't receive it, could it still lead to peaceful protest? You can protest in Wuse Market, you can protest. Your voices will be heard. If you go to any open ground, go to Jabi Lake, all those vast areas, you can protest there. I think your voices will be heard. I don't know. For the interest of peace, do you think the protesters will do things like that?
I don't think so, because now time is of essence. They've planned this protest. They mark where they want to protest. Changing it, they know achieve the result they want, but there was not enough time to communicate to people. We're no longer meeting here. I've seen protests in the US. I've seen people go to Capitol House, to US, to go and protest.
Yeah.
So it should be allowed as long as they are peaceful. You have people not to go to Eagle Square. If you go to Eagle Square, how does it disturb governance? It's an open space. You've locked it up. Instead, people shouldn't go. Okay, let's consider Asurok. Supreme Court. How does it affect their work? They're sitting outside. You have said to remove them from key places they ought to protest.
Okay, not in sympathy, Philip, not in sympathy with the government, but of course in sympathy with democracy and Nigeria entirely. That of Asu Rock at this time, don't you think it's sensitive? There was a rumor that flew last week about people being locked up for either coup or things like that. Those rumors are still largely unverified. But you understand, in a security environment, they take every rumor, every event, everything very, very seriously. And when something begins to get to Asu Rock, which is the seat of power, we don't want to sacrifice our democracy. We are here now, we can criticize Asiwaju here. You might not be able to be here to criticize a military leader. So we still prefer our democracy, no matter how you look at it. We still want our democracy intact, such that Asiwaju leaves, 2027, he doesn't win the election, another person comes in. You understand? So we have that option. But with the military, you don't quite have that option. And if the military that has not been able to decimate Boko Haram, no matter all the reasons they give to us, blah, 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 are they the ones that are going to come and run economy plus the Boko Haram and all that? So this military is not even the kind of military we had before. So why not, in the benefit of also ensuring that this government is not touched, we don't initiate anarchy, can't these protesters forget about going to these areas, this purported court order, ask them not to go? No, they didn't see, but it's already in the newspaper. At least this is their wish. Give them their partial wish, while you also take your fractional wish.
Yes, very well. You see, even under the military, there's protest.
Of course, I know. I protested under the military.
Myself, I was a Unibed. Anti-SAP riot. We took a cop from the University of Benin, Ugbo Road, down to the military government house in GRA. So who said they could not protest? If you said they shouldn't go to us, where are they going to express their grievances? You see, protest to have meaning is to take it to the doorpost of the government, because they are not coming inside, so they will be outside expressing their grievance. It is then the government will come, if it's the government of the people, by the people, for the people, to address the grievances and tell them, look, yes, we have heard you, go back, we will look at it. There are several processes in this country that have been taken to the National Assembly, wherein, and State House of Assembly, the speaker or their delegated person come and address the people, and then the people will go back. But when you are saying that you are restraining people from not coming out to protest, it shows that there's something you are running away from. You don't want to address the grievances. So for me, as far as the law is concerned, and according to Sowore, the order has not been served on him. He doesn't know the content of the order, whether Aso Rock was mentioned, whether First Central was mentioned. It's unknown to him. So, because the protest has been planned to be in this place, they should go ahead.
All right, there we go. Let's get another clip again, and hopefully before we continue.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now. 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 Don't tear gas us. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Don't tear gas us. Don't tear gas us. Can't hear you. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. 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 Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
All right, welcome back to studio once again, and you see that it's not people are not going about just their normal business, but like Philip said, protest is also normal business. Protest is also normal business. Peaceful protest actually is a normal business because it's guaranteed in the Constitution. When I was coming to work today, somebody was asking me things that are in the Constitution. Why would anybody stop them from doing it? I say yes. Court order and court judgment is only the valid means, of suspending any of your rights in the Constitution, and you can be thrown into jail if the court says so. Meanwhile, freedom of movement is your constitutional right. So that's why it's only court that have that power. If you remember, before we digress, when they were sealing people's houses and all that, I said no, you can't seal people's house where people are living because you don't have court order to do so, because you're going to infringe on their fundamental human rights. Okay, let's get back to this without digging too deep into Kanu's case, the causal issues and the effect. Essentially, Sowore was saying that Kanu himself does not preach a violent way of doing things, that people going about this protest have to be peaceful and they must be peaceful. Do you think, Peter, that we will continue to see people marching peacefully, and at the end of the day, everything is going to be peaceful? Do we have that guarantee?
I don't think it will end peacefully because, as I said earlier, Nigerian government is going to introduce violence. Mark my word. They're going to take against people. And people are going to throw maybe bottle water. I think the morning we saw some flashes. Yes, they're going to throw bottle water at them. They're looking for an excuse to shoot. Remember what happened at EndSARS? It wasn't a peaceful process. They will gradually introduce violence. I'll consider as well. They don't even go to higher talks. No, nobody by now would have seen their own protesters in support of government fighting with these ones. It has not happened. But at the end of the day, they want to introduce talk. Go to Baker here. Let's Baker. If see the number of Nigerian army, able men, serving Nigeria, wasting there, waiting for people the protesters to pass through there.
Meanwhile,
if they pass through there, what's going to happen?
Bandits, kidnapping,
what's going to happen? So people are protesting because people are tired, people are hungry, people have not enjoying what they think.
Just speaking from what Peter said, he said people are hungry. If you remember the last time during the EndSARS, actually the government hired some protesters, because one of the person, a pro-government protester, didn't even understand what he was asked to do. He started saying the hunger is too much. I think one boy from outside he said this hunger is too much, the government should do something. Then I had to come and shut him down. So that's not what you're supposed to be saying. So there's also a risk in hiring people that are already hungry, But that said, when it comes to protesting against hunger, protesting against the release of, against imprisoning somebody wrongly or whatever, people are going to stand by that. But the only issue I think is very, very strong in this case is the desire to go to Asu Rock. You can't claim that until you block or go to Asu Rock that your voices will not be heard. That you can't clearly establish that. Let's Philip, you can, if you are the president, you can't clearly establish that. You know, because let me tell you, when I see what you when I see what you was bringing people to, is it Freedom Park? What's the name of this park in Lagos where they protested against subsidy? Maybe he didn't know that he was going to be the president.
Yes.
And so you don't expect protesters to block the entrance to Aso Rock. You don't expect that.
They are not saying they are going to block Aso Rock. You see, if you remember, even in the United States, in the front of White House, that's where they take most protests.
Yes.
Nobody is saying they are taking the protest to the front of Villa. Go to Egypt government in every protest.
In UK,
to the government door
in
post.
UK, to be the 11
Yes, you take it to the door post of the government so that it's not question here. Say you will be live and direct.
Okay, Peter, do you think of joining this protest today?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't join. I wouldn't. I'm not saying I would join because I don't want it to know what I would do. But am I against?
But we know what Showore will do.
But am I against? I'm not against it.
Okay.
Speaking of, we should start speaking up. We should start acting. Let it be in accordance with our law and constitution. As long as we don't exit from our constitution and laws, I'm okay with it.
All right. The right to protest is still our fundamental human right. Is still guaranteed in the constitution. I will try to see if I can make my way down there and see what is also happening. Maybe anytime I live here, but to continue this discussion, Philip, I'm going to give you this launching pad. Can you prophesy if Nnamdi Kanu will be released this year?
Well, it is hard to prophesy, but I will say this: I am not prophesying. Nnamdi Kanu will have his freedom soon.
All right. What's the name of this Father Baka? He said, this prophecy, what would they do? Now, this prophecy, what would they prophesy? Now, money will tell the prophesy.
Exactly.
So the people need that, speaking to actually initiate the working out of the prophecy. Don't touch it. We're still on the studio, still on the matter of Nnamdi Kanu's release, the protest. Just 30 seconds. We'll be right back.